Okay. I have uploaded all data warehouse concept recording in my share path. In share path. Okay. In that share path. So I have uploaded all the recordings in a share path. Okay. So I hope everyone will go through these recordings after the classes. So these are the classes recordings I'm not going to upload. The last classes recording is there. That is very nicely explained. So no need to worry. It's everything is very nicely explained. So if you'll get confused, just go through that and ask me your question. Okay. So people who just for the attendance purpose, please drop me your name and mail ID, everyone, and send it separately, like not in everyone. Send it separately, like if you'll select it here, it will be like separately, not in everyone in meeting. You can send me separately, okay? And uh, Prasant is in call.
Yes, yes,
So, can you ping me in my WhatsApp number? Did we speak previously?
yes, yes, yes. We are previously speaking.
Okay, so can you just please drop me your message in WhatsApp?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, you are. I am in group only.
Actually, you are in group. What is name is there?
That is a fight. Fight is name.
Okay, okay. Just ping me separately in
Okay.
my WhatsApp.
I will do that.
Sure, sure. Okay. So, what is data mart? We'll start with the concept data mart. We have a few topics. We'll try to cover it today. Okay, we'll try to cover it today. Whatever the topics are there, if anything will be remaining, then we'll cover it on Wednesday classes. Hopefully, we'll be able to cover all these things. Few topics only remaining. Okay, in the data warehouse concept, and then Wednesday we'll start Oracle SQL basics. Okay. So, what is data mart? Data mart is a simple form of data warehouse focused on a single subject or line of business. Single subject or line of business. What is meaning of data mart? Data mart is a simple form of data warehouse. So, we saw that data warehouse was having the all organization data was stored. All data warehouse data was stored. Okay, so focused on a single subject. Single subject means what? Yesterday I was discussing, consider that Reliance is a company. Okay. So consider this is a data warehouse, target data warehouse, and you consider as a Reliance is a company where like Reliance will have all departments. Consider department as HR, sales, marketing, okay, sales, marketing, HR, sales, marketing, IT, purchasing, all other departments data will be there in a target data warehouse. Okay, so but a customer want that. No, I want those. Everything is here. It's fine. All organization details are here. It's fine. It's well. It's good. But I want separate separate database for my single subject. Single subject means single department. Like HR should be separate, purchasing should be separate, sales should be separate, marketing should be separate, like that they want their database data warehouse to be created separately from this all whole organization data. So this single single subject area is called as data mart. So what is the meaning of data mart? It's a single subject. It will explain you the single subject. Like if it will have the details of HR only, it will have details of employees only, it will have details of IT department only. It will details of marketing only. So that is the meaning of data mart. So data warehouse, what is this data warehouse? Complete data will be there. Whole organization data will be there. Whole department data will be there. But company, if client want, no, I want my data to be separated in a different department wise. All department should be separately organized. Then you will create a different data mart. Then you will create a different data mart by name purchasing, where like purchasing data will be there. Whatever the related data of purchasing, data will be there for purchasing. Whatever the data is related to sales, those data will be available whatever the data for inventory, those data will be there. Marketing data will have the separate database, and all related to market details will be there. And the user or the client or the customer or the business decision maker, they will be able to generate report from this layer, or from the data warehouse layer, from the data mart layer, or from the data warehouse layer. Okay, got it, everyone? The concept.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the definition wise, you will say that data mart is a simple form of data warehouse. Focus on a single subject or line of business. Line of business you can remove. You can say that single subject. Okay, single subject or single line of business you can mention. Single line of business. With a data mart, terms can access data and gain insighter faster. Teams can access data and gain insighter faster. Obviously, when you will access, when you will access, when you will access data warehouse, target data warehouse, when you will access target data warehouse, and you want to find some report out of that, it will be have the complex architecture. But when we will have the separate department, it will be always easy. It will be always easy, okay, to fetch details of the HR or purchasing and all this. If you are fetching details of the target data warehouse, it will be complex because the architecture, what it will be there inside, it will be complex. But in data mart, how somehow it will be much easier than data warehouse architecture. So fetching details, fetching record from this, it will be easy. Okay. Okay, so definition wise is that they don't have to spend time searching within more complex data warehouse or manually aggregating data from different sources. Same thing what I've explained, same concept. Okay, data for data mart are derived from data warehouse or from. What is the meaning of this line? What is the meaning of this line? Okay, so let's go back to the diagram where you will see that, Okay, so this is my diagram. This is the data warehouse where you will see that data mart are placed after data warehouse. Okay, so data mart are placed after data warehouse. This is the general diagram. Okay, this is not the final diagram. This is the general diagram. I have picked it from the Google. Okay, if you will go through the different diagram in a Google, so somewhere it will be mentioned that data mart will be before data warehouse. Okay, data mart will be before data warehouse. Here in this diagram, data mart are after data warehouse, but in somewhere it will be before data mart. Okay, so it depends on the company. Okay, it depends on the company to company. It depends on the company to company how they want their data mart to be stored. It's like before data warehouse or after data warehouse. So it depends on the company, it depends on the client, how they want their data mart to be designed, before data warehouse or after data warehouse. So that is the meaning of this line. It can be before data warehouse or it can be after data warehouse. So in diagram, if you'll see that if data mart is created after data warehouse, then data will go in data mart from data warehouse. So data will go in data mart from data warehouse. Okay, but if it will be created before data warehouse, then data will go in a data warehouse from data mart. If it will be data mart will be created before data warehouse, then in data warehouse, whatever the data will be there, it will come from data mart. Guys, clear? Clear, guys?
Yeah, hi Jen, Karishma this side.
Yeah, Charisma.
Jen, I just want to know one thing that as you have said, that if the point is the data warehouse, it can be before and after, right? The data mart option, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So if it is before the data warehouse, So
Hmm.
whatever the information or whatever the it is transferred into the data mart. So as you have said earlier also, that data warehouse, it collects the you can say that filtered data from multiple sources, right?
Not filtered, it will have the transform data from one format to
Yeah,
another
yeah,
format.
right. That is the transform data. All the that is the raw material, all the data which we don't want, that we will not. It is not transformed into the data warehouse. But
Hmm.
the question is that if we it is before the data warehouse, so it makes any sense because we have already, as you have said, that data warehouse at the filtered or the transform data only.
Yeah.
No,
What?
so data mart, it is also have the filter data and plus the data warehouse is also the same.
Yeah, same. You will have final data only that in data mart.
Mhm.
Okay, and from those data, it will go to the data warehouse. So, like, see, the architecture will be again different. Okay, so most of the
Mhm.
cases you will get data mart after the data warehouse only.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
in some cases, if it will be before data warehouse, then there will be a different layer will be introduced in the target also and in the data mart also, so that if any modification will be there, they will do modification in before layer and then it will move further. So in that case, the architecture will be little complex, but consider as a data mart. In your if question will be asked in an interview or what where is your data mart after data warehouse after target or it's before target, you have to say that it's a after target. Okay. So we'll not go in a complexity. So we'll
Mhm.
say that I mean to say that it is happening. You will get data mart before data warehouse or you will get data mart in after data warehouse. If you'll see data mart in before data warehouse, don't confuse. Generally in overall case, it will be after data warehouse. If you if interview, they may ask you where is data mart stay in your data warehouse, then you will say that it's after target. In most of the cases, I saw data mart after the target table only. Okay.
Yeah, that means it is all up to the organization requirement, right?
Yes.
So, okay, fine, fine. Thank you.
So data mart is done. Okay. Thank you for asking the question. Okay, and let's move to the next segment. So different between data mart and data warehouse. Okay, so this is the general we spoke about we discuss about data warehouse, we discuss about data mart. Now you people can tell me the difference between data mart and data warehouse. So what are the differences are there for data mart and data warehouse? A data mart stores department data. Okay, a data mart is stored department data, a single subject. We saw that, okay? And data warehouse stores enterprise data, means whole organization data will be stored, or like integration of all department data or multiple department data. A data mart is designed for management. Middle management means what? If it's a HR data is there, so HR head or HR head will be able to access those data. So in that case, it's like middle management. Middle management is what? Not top level management also, but middle management also can access the data mart data. And data warehouse designed for top management data. When we have the whole organization data, definitely who will be head for the whole organization or whole department wise, they'll be able to access the all data warehouse design and they'll be able to take the decision, they'll be able to generate the report, all these things. Okay, so it's like all definition wise. So comparing data warehouse versus data mart, data warehouse size range 100 GB to 1 TB plus. Okay, where data mart size is less than 100 GB. Definitely, it's a single subject data, so it will have less. It requires less memory space, so it will occupy less memory. Okay, and it will have all organization data and it will have history data also, so it will need more space. Okay, it will have also data mart also will have the history data, but it's a single subject, so it will be like 100 GB to few more 100 GB. Okay. Data warehouse designing process is complicated, whereas the data mart process is easy to design. Definitely, data warehouse architecture is complex because it will have whole organization data. Every department will be there, but whereas like in a data mart, you will have single subject. Mean like only the if you are we are going to create the HR department data, the HR department database, so it will have little less complication than compared to data warehouse. Okay, so data warehouse is focused on all departments in an organization, whereas data mart focus on a specific group. Okay, so this is the definition. You need not to mention all the point in an interview. 3-4 point is more than sufficient. Okay. So next one is what is dimension and dimensions table. Any question, guys, till now? Any question, guys?
Yeah, Panna is here.
Yeah,
Who will
Aparna.
create data marts?
The data mart, whatever, see, the yesterday I was explaining the data mart and data warehouse and whole designing will be done by the data warehouse architecture. So when you will work in a company, it will come with the requirement where like requirement will be given by the customer client. Okay, consider that one of the bank or any name you can take for the consider Amazon is a company. Okay, Amazon is a company and they want to introduce a new app. Okay, so new data warehouse they want to construct, where like they want to store all ACR related data. Okay, all ACR related data. Then what they will do, they will give this requirement to business analyst or the architecture. They will give you that see Asia we have 50 countries, and you design such a way that all data will be there for all countries, and it will be organized such a way that I'll be able to pull country-wise data. I'll be able to pull country-wise reports. Okay. So in that case, they will give the requirement to the architecture, the business architecture. They will design a diagram, all these things. They will design a diagram and they will give it to the business analyst. The business analyst will draft it proper manner. What are the tables will be there? What are the requirements are there from where data will be coming? And then they will explain to the dev department. The business analyst will explain to the dev department. They will explain to the testing department. Development will do the coding. Meanwhile, testers will be designing their test case. Okay, so one test case designing will be done. We will do execution, and if you'll find any defect in the data, we'll raise the defect and will assign to the defect, assigned to the developer. So this is the complete architecture we follow. Let me show you the architecture diagram of the one of the project. Okay, it's a banking domain project. So let me show you the project architecture, how it looks like inside, so that you will get idea. Okay. This is one of my project I worked. So see this is the
If
diagram.
we
What
create a data mart after the data warehouse, is it cleansing data or before before we create a data mart means is it cleansing data?
yeah, it will be clean data. Okay, so whatever the data will be stored in a data warehouse and data mart, so it will be in a clean data. Okay, it already clean data. It will be transformed data. After transformation, after cleaning of the data, it will be stored to the data warehouse and data mart. Okay, so see
Sometimes
the
we need to test the data and export to transform to data marts, I think.
your name, ma'am.
Aparna.
Yeah, Aparna. So maybe you have not attended yesterday's session. That's why you're asking question.
Okay.
Let me explain you separately after the call. Okay.
Okay,
Data
sure. Thank you.
warehouse architecture. So guys, I was discussing the requirement, how requirement is there. Okay, so just see how complex requirement is. Can you see it? How they have drafted. So we will not go across this. Never we will come across with this as a ETL tester, just for showing that how the requirement will come and how they will draft it. based on this, business analyst, they will make the requirement, and then these are the layers, whatever the layer are there, these are the considered as source layer. Okay, source system, from different source data is going to the one layer. From these are the source data is going to another layer. Okay, so these are the source where data is storing to the another layer. Okay, so like this architecture is there. From this staging area, after this, it will move to the target database. Also, if you see in a simple way for us how they have drafted, so these are the source. This is the target data. Sorry, staging area. Staging area. This is the staging area. From all this source, data will be stored in a one common server, one common database, and from here, data will move to the staging area where our cleansing process will be done, and this is our target layer where we will be validating staging area to target. So this is they made this complex diagram in such a easy way for the testers so that we can validate data between this layer and this layer. So staging and database, and this is the staging database, and this is the target database. Guys, clear? Can you confirm all? Just don't confuse. Just I'm showing you the architecture, how the different types of source will be there, and they will make one source common source, and then later it will be moved to the staging area, and we will be validating a staging area and the target database. Guys, fine?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay.
Jayant,
Yeah. Tell me your name, please.
Jayant,
Yeah.
Janardhan. Yeah.
Yeah, Janardhan.
So data mart is basically it is also a subset of the data warehouse, right?
Yeah. Subject
So it
all.
won't be a different data
It will.
warehouse, right? It is just a part of the data warehouse, right?
Yeah, you can say that replica of the data warehouse. Replica means it
So
will
it
be
is part of the data
data
warehouse.
warehouse.
That is where we will segregate data department wise and keep the data, right?
Yes. All data, whatever the
Okay.
data
So
will be
I
there,
was
whatever the data will have
yeah.
the data
So
warehouse, it will have the same thing. Okay.
yeah. So this is just it is like you have a big house is what your data warehouse, where you have the room separated is what your data mart, right? Simply, if I have to say.
No, just come slow. What I
So
did not.
you have constructed one building or one building. Suppose your constructed building is a data warehouse. Inside that, if you have the room segregation, is what your data mart, right?
Yeah. You can consider that whole building. You can consider as a data warehouse. Single room you can consider as a data mart.
Okay, fine. Now it makes clear sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other question,
Okay,
guys?
fine. You can continue.
So one thing I want to ask, like this the data warehouse and your data mart, does it run parallelly or is there any time difference in between?
It depends on the day to day how the data will be loaded. Okay, so you can say that it will be whatever the data are there. Just a second, guys. Can you ask me again your question?
So like we have data in your data warehouse, your third layer, right? And then we create a data mart and we segregate the data according to subject wise, according to department. But I want to know this thing run parallelly or there isn't any time difference in between.
So will not come for the time difference because it's not like it's not time dependent. So think that whatever the data are there in a data warehouse, the same data will be there in a data mart, and data warehouse will have the all subject data where like
Yes.
and in data mart we'll have the single subject. That consider that much only. Will not go into the what time the job will run and all these things. It's already it will be depends on the scheduling job. Okay, so how scheduling job will be scheduled from the company. Based on that, it will be data will be loaded.
Okay, so that is not a part of the KRA
No, that
among the
will
architect.
no.
That is different issue altogether.
Different issue. So we'll not go into that detail.
Okay,
Just consider that data warehouse will have whole organization data, but
that is clear.
whereas, yeah, okay, fine. So any other question? If any other questions are there, please ask me after the class. Okay, will not disturb class. We need to finish the topic also. Okay. Difference done. So what is dimension and dimensions table? I want to discuss that. So so consider this is the Oracle database where like consider this is the dimensions table. So dimensions will be written in what format? In the most of the company like this, it will be written. So this is a table. Consider this is a dimensions table. Okay, and dimensions table. So what it explains in this dimension table, what it explains, it is having the knowledge of all employee related data. It will have details of all employee related data. So let's consider the definition by what dimensions tables are. What is dimension and dimensions table and its type? Dimension is a descriptive data which describe the key. Descriptive data means detailed data. Okay, detailed data. So in descriptive data means this detailed data. Okay, detailed data. Whatever the data will be there in a dimensions table, whatever the data will be there in a dimensions table, that is going to define completely this table. So every details will be there, every details will be there for that dimensions table. Okay, so dimension is a detailed data which describe the key, so which will describe the whole table data, whole table data. Okay, so whole table data, the dimensions are organized in a table called dimensions table. So dimensions are organized. Just for the definition, just go through it and we'll make sure that you will understand it. Okay, so if you will consider this is a dimensions table, this is a dimensions table, then these are called as dimensions. Single values are called dimensions. Single values are called dimension. Okay, single values are called dimension. You consider any, you pick it any of the values that will be considered as dimension in this dimensions table. Dimension in this dimensions table. Okay, and coming back to the next, dimension tables are used to describe dimensions. So dimension tables are used to describe dimension. So this dimension table, what we are going to see, we are seeing that employee table, employee dimensions. So what it's going to define? It is going to define the detail of the employees related data. It will be stored inside this dimensions table. So you consider that this is the dimension table, and this table is having all details of the employees like employee ID, first name, last name, email ID, phone number, hire date. All these details are related to employee will be stored. Okay, guys. So this is what we have dimensions table. You will have a question that what sir is talking dimensions table and all, where it will be used. Okay, so let me just finish this topic and I'll show you the pictorial diagram of it where the dimensions table will be stored. Okay, so dimensions table contains dimension of a fact. So we'll discuss this part in the next segment. Okay, dimension table are denormalized. Okay, so dimension tables are denormalized. You can remember primary key in each dimension table is related to foreign key in a fact table. So we'll discuss fact table and what is primary key. Primary key we'll discuss when we will discuss constraint in SQL. When we'll start SQL, we'll discuss one chapter called constraint. So there we'll discuss. Just for now, you just consider that the primary key, if we'll define a primary key in a table, if we define a primary key in a table, it will not accept blank values. It will not accept blank values and duplicate record. If we'll define this column as a primary key, it will not accept blank values and it will not accept duplicate value. That is the meaning of primary key if it's defined in the dimension table. So primary key in each dimension table is related to foreign key in a fact table. It will be clear in some time. Just wait and watch. Okay, so there is no limit for the dimension in a dimension table. So it can be n number of dimensions will be added. N number of dimensions can be added in a dimensions table. There is no limit that we will have 1 million, 2 billion, like that. It can be any number of dimensions can be added to this dimensions table. Okay, and coming back to the pictorial diagram. Okay, so dimensions table types are there are two types of dimensions. Okay, confirmed dimension and junk dimension. These are the things you have to remember. Okay, these are the things you have to remember. I will explain you again with the diagram, so it will be clear for you people. Okay, confirmed dimension is what? A dimension table which can be shared by the multiple fact table. Fact table, it's coming in again in picture. Let me show you the diagram, how the architecture will looks like. Consider that this is a fact table. This is a fact table. Okay, so we discuss about the dimensions table. Dimensions table will be looks like that. Consider this is a fact table. Consider this is a fact table. Okay, consider this is a fact table. So fact table also will be looked like this. This is also table in a database. So fact table will have what kind of data? So fact table will have all data from the surrounding dimensions table. Surrounding dimensions table. So if you will see this fact table, so in this fact table of data is coming from where? From this dimensions table. So if you see that date ID is coming from the dim underscore date, store ID is coming from the dim underscore store, and in this fact cells, the data product ID is coming from the dim underscore product. So all the data will come to the fact table in a from the surrounding dimensions table. This is the architecture of the you can say data warehouse. It's the architecture of a data warehouse. You can say that like this. Okay, I'm just showing it. Just don't get confused how the architecture will be for the fact table and dimensions table. So these are like surrounding tables is there. It's all dimensions table, and this is the fact table. In between middle, if you see, these are the fact tables. So we'll discuss first fact table, and then we'll come back again with the diagram. So just concentrate, guys. So if you'll not concentrate, you will get confused. So you can remember the this part, but the thing is that you have to understand also what is dimension and what is dimensions table. Okay, so let me discuss the fact table, and then we'll come back to the question session. Okay, so the fact table is nothing but fact and a fact table and its type. So we are going to see that what is fact and fact table and its type. Facts are numeric in a data warehouse. Facts are numeric in a data warehouse or fact table. So numeric means what? Numeric means what? It will be in a number format. So whatever the data will be there in a fact table, whatever the data will be there in a fact table, if you'll see here in a fact cells, the whatever the what are the columns are coming from the dim underscore date? Only ID is coming. What are the columns are coming from the dim underscore store? It is coming store ID only. It's going to store in a fact table, which is nature by this a number. Okay, ID means number. Okay, it will not contain a string. It will be a number. If you will see product ID, so it will have also number only. So all numeric kind of data are stored in a fact table. Okay, all numeric kind of data will be stored in a fact table. What is the meaning of this line? What is the meaning of this line? Facts are numeric in a data warehouse or fact table. So this numeric means it will be a number format. All data in a fact table will be in a number format. All data in a fact table will be in a number format. Facts are measurement in a fact table. So what is called as fact? If you consider this is not a fact table, but you consider as of now, this is a fact table. Employee is the fact table, and what is fact in this? So these are the values are fact in a fact table. So single value will be called as facts in a fact table. These are the single values will be called as facts in a fact table. Okay, guys. So these are the single values will be called as facts in a fact table. In dimension table, what we saw, single value was called as dimension in a dimension table. Similarly, single values are called as a facts in a fact table. Clear, guys? Facts are combinations of dimensions from the dimensions table. Definitely, like just now I've told you, facts are combinations of dimensions from the dimensions table. So from where the data will come in the fact table, data will come from the dimensions table. Data will be coming from the dimensions table in a fact table. So if we have middle fact tables are there, so data will come from where? Data will come from the all surrounding dimensions table into the fact table. So data in a fact table will be from the dimensions table. Okay, a fact table is a primary table in a dimension modeling. So dimension modeling technique, it's a technique. Dimension modeling is a technique to design a data warehouse. So we saw the diagram of data warehouse. So dimension modeling is a technique to design a data warehouse. We'll discuss in a separate manner in a separate topic. Just as of now, you consider that. As of now, you consider that. As of now, you consider that dimension modeling is a technique to design a data warehouse. Where in a data warehouse we will have fact tables, and we will have surrounding dimensions. Multiple dimensions tables will be there, and we will have the fact tables. And so in data warehouse we will have fact tables, and we will have multiple dimensions table. Okay, so this is the technique. Dimension modeling is a technique by what we are going to design the data warehouse. Where in data warehouse, what are the tables we'll have? We will have dimensions table, we will have fact table, we will have dimensions table, we will have fact table. In fact table, from where data will come? In fact table, data will come from the multiple surrounding dimensions table. Okay, so multiple dimensions table. A fact table contains measurement of fact. We discussed this point in this part. So in a fact table, these values will be called as fact or measurement. Okay, facts in a fact table. Okay, these values are will be called as fact in a fact table. Okay, got it, guys. So coming back to the types of facts. So what are the different types of facts are there? Additive fact, semi-additive fact, non-additive fact. So what are the different types of facts are there? Additive fact, semi-additive fact, non-additive facts. There are three types of fact table. These are the interview questions. Okay, these are the interview questions. They may ask you what is fact table and what are the different types of fact table. So you have to say tell the same detail, same definition. You will say that facts are numeric in a data warehouse. Okay, or in a fact table. So facts are numeric. So in fact table we will have all data in a numeric format. In a fact table we'll have all data. All data will be in a numeric format, and facts are measurement in a facts table. So like same definition you will be giving into the interview, and you will say that we will have three types of fact table, where like additive facts, semi-additive facts, non-additive facts. So what is additive facts? Additive facts means measures should be added to all dimensions. In simple way, you will say that it will be it can be summed up to the all dimension. It can be summed up to the all dimensions. So maybe the definition, general definition of additive fact is it can be summed up of all the dimensions. Semi-additive fact means some of the measures may be added to some dimension and not with the others. So some of the dimensions data will be get added. So that is the semi-additive. Non-additive means none of the data will be, none of the dimensions will be added. So that is the called as say non-additive fact. It stores some basic unit of measurement of a business process. Some real or example include sales, phone call, and all these things. Okay. So the general definition of additive facts is that it can be sum of all the dimensions. Okay. In the semi-additive, it will sum up with the few dimensions. Okay. And in non-additive means none of the record will be get summed in a say a non-additive fact. Okay. Okay, so I will do one thing. I will find out the more easier definition of it. definition of additive fact, I feel that this will be complex to remember. I will update you guys, okay? This definition I'll find easier way, this one, and I'll update it, okay? So any question till now, guys?
Jayant, Karishma this side.
Yeah, tell me, Karisma.
I just can you please explain the non-additive part again?
Yeah, sure. Let me just explain you. 1 second.
One thing more, sir, this additive and non-additive and these things. Can you cite some examples also?
Okay. So there is not much example. Like if you can consider that total sales. Okay, so you can say that sales column. Okay, so if you have sales column, so a sales column means what? If it will be summed up with the all the dimension. Okay, so if first case if you ask additive fact, so it will be summed of all the dimension, that is called as the additive fact. Okay, if total if you have the sales for the another one, semi-additive means what? The sales part, it will be summed up with the sum of the dimension, that it will be called as semi-additive. If non-additive, if you will go, it will be not summed off of all the dimension. The data will not come from any of the dimension. That will be called as it's non-additive. Okay. So additive means it will come data from the different additive, the different dimension, and for the semi-additive data will come from the not more I mean like some of the dimensions table, and non-additive means it will not come from anywhere. So that is the general meaning. Okay, just
Is it
yeah.
is this semi-additive fact
Which one?
what you are showing that?
No, it's like you can say that if data is coming from all dimension, it's an additive fact.
In last unit sold also there.
And this is the extra added column from the architecture. Okay, from the architecture. Okay, so this is the extra added column you can consider, but you will have different dimension also. It's not like 3 dimension only. It will have the different dimension also. Multiple dimensions will be there. Okay, so this is what we have for the fact. Other questions, guys? Any other question, guys? Got confused in the types of the fact. Just remember the thing, that's all. I'll update you the definition more easier part. In a more easy part, I will update and I will say it. Okay. I feel that is not up to the mark. Okay. Any other question, guys?
Hello, sir. Ramesh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sir,
Tell me.
in fact table contains only key values. I mean, foreign key like that.
Yeah, it will have the only the key value, numeric value will be there from the surrounding dimension. If you'll see the multiple dimension, if you'll see the multiple dimension, so data are coming from this. This is considered as a fact table. Okay, so this sales is a fact table. Where in the sales table, data is come from the different dimensions. Okay, from different. If you'll see that product ID is coming from the product dimensions, order ID is coming from the order dimension, time dimension. Okay, customer ID is coming from the customer dimension. EMP, like employee ID is coming from the EMP dimension. Like that, this total quantity discount, it will be added from the architecture. It's not like every column will come from the places. The other columns will be added from the architecture for their own use. Okay.
One more, just so in production dimension, product ID is work as a primary key, and in sales fact table, product ID works as a foreign key. Is it
Foreign
correct?
key, yes, correct. So order ID will be act as a for primary key in a dimension table. This dimension table, and product order ID here, it will be act as a foreign key. So I will explain you for what is primary key and foreign key. As of now, you just remember the here primary key in a dimensions table will be related to foreign key in a fact table. Okay, so this is the definition. When we'll discuss the constraint chapter, just constraint chapter, that time we will see that what is primary key and what are the foreign key. Okay, what are the relation between primary key and foreign key, that we'll discuss that. And this is all the theoretical part, you have to remember it. Okay, so we'll not go in a designing part and all this thing, so that is not our scope. Okay, so next
Sir, types of facts, it's not clear to me.
types of fact I will
Not clearly. You need to give some example. Like you have shown one diagram right now where you have mentioned about the primary key, foreign key. In this diagram only, if you want to explain right now with some example like additive facts, semi-additive, you can tell it right now. Otherwise, you can later on whenever you.
yeah. So we'll do one thing. I'll make it proper. This one with more diagram, because
Yes, sir.
I feel that it's less informative. Because see, the diagram wise, they will not ask more interview question. But I feel that you people should know what is exactly additive fact, semi-additive fact. I will add
Yes,
more
sir.
diagram, and we'll discuss on Wednesday. Okay?
To me, it is not clear what we are adding and what we are not adding.
Yeah. I'll
This
clear.
fact is not clear.
Yeah, I will add pictorial diagram of it, so that you will say that you will see that how the data is coming and additive effects, what are the it's going to sum up. Okay,
Right,
and
right.
in semi-additive, what are the dimension it is going. So I'll find out more diagram on that, and
Right,
you
sir.
will be clear on that.
Thank
So
you, sir.
third, yeah. So coming back to the any other question, guys?
No, sir.
Okay. So don't worry. I thought like it's not important much. So I have not mentioned a pictorial diagram, but I will make sure that it will be understandable for all people. Okay. Okay. So I just updated it. I don't know. I just lost it, the updated one or what. Let me see. No, it's not there. Okay. I'll update it, and again I will explain you on Wednesday. Okay. It will be clear. It's not so difficult. It's so easy. Let me explain it again. Okay, so what is dimensional data modeling technique is the purpose of dimensional modeling to optimize the database for the faster retrieval of technique. So I was discussing in the previous topic, dimension data modeling technique. So dimension data modeling is a technique by what they will design the architecture will design the data warehouse. Okay, so these are all data warehouse design. If you will consider that these are all data warehouse design, it will be designed from the architecture. It will be designed from the architecture. They will design such a way that how the data will go to this fact table, from where the data will come to the different dimensions table, whatever the different dimensions table we have to create, how many fact tables will be there, how many fact table will have the one fact table will have the how many dependent dimensions table. So those are the things are designed in using the dimension data modeling technique. So dimension data modeling is a technique by using what the architecture will design the data warehouse. Okay, architecture will design the data warehouse. So what is the use of this technique? So if they will use this technique to design, it will be in a easy manner. They will be plot the tables, dimension table, fact table in a proper manner, so that the data, whatever the flowing from the fact table and dimensions table and all the places, it will be in a proper manner and smoothly it will follow. It will not have so much of complexity, like they'll get confused like how this data is coming from this table and how the data are coming in this table, like that. Okay, so the purpose of dimension modeling is to optimize the database for faster retrieval of data. So the way they will design, so that they will be able to fetch data. They will be able to fetch data faster and subject specific. If they want to fetch data for sales data, if they want to fetch data for sales data, then they will design such a way that they will be able to fetch the data from the facts easily It's not like they have to write it complex query or they have to see the whole diagram. It's like easy way they have to diagram. They have to design so that they will be able to fetch data easily. Dimension modeling, a model in a data warehouse arranges data in such a way that is easier to retrieve information and generate report. So dimension modeling is a technique where like data warehouse will be arranged in a such a way that data warehouse arranged in a such a way that it will be easier for the decision maker or it will be easier for the people to retrieve information and generate report. So we saw that we are going to generate the report from the reporting section from the user segment, last segment. Okay, so from that, uh, they will not face any difficulties while generating report. If the architecture will be very complex, so they will have problem in fetching report. Okay, they will have problem in fetching report. So the dimension data modeling is a technique by which they will design data warehouse in easy manner, in a proper manner, so that the business users or decision maker they will able to fetch their data easier. Okay, so dimension data modeling is most often used in a data warehouse. So dimension data modeling technique is 99% project they will use that dimension data modeling technique only to design their data warehouse. Okay, so in designing data model for data warehouse and data mart, the most commonly used schemas are a star schema and snowflake schema. So what are the different types of schema we have? We have a star schema, we have a snowflake schema. So what is a star schema? This is the schema name by what method the architecture will follow to design their data warehouse. So star schema is the method by using this star schema, that this method only the architecture will follow to design their data warehouse. Okay, star schema is method or designing process or designing architecture by what architecture will use to design their data warehouse. Okay, another way is snowflake schema. Snowflake schema means what? It's another method, it's another designing process what the architecture will follow, what architecture will follow to design their data warehouse. So this is the star schema and snowflake schema. We'll see that what is star schema and snowflake schema in details. Till now, any question, guys?
Jayant Romil this side.
Yeah, Roman, you joined late?
Yeah, today I joined a little bit late.
Okay. Okay.
So Jen, just want to know that this dimension table and fact table is something that is been after transform or it's prior to transform.
It's after transformation. See, these are the primary table. Okay, this is the primary table, and these are the tables like from where data will go to the fact table, and this is the data warehouse architecture. Okay, so data will be transformed and it will be cleaned, then it will be stored in these layers.
Okay, got it. Means in short, what I understand till now, I have joined little late. So primary like a fact table is something where it will give us a real fact about my business or something.
Yes, yes.
If I have one of my shop, in that I want to just know the revenue of the month, that I will get directly from the fact table.
From the fact table, yes.
Yeah, and remaining dimensions like on which date what has been sold and on what date like which items has been come in stock, that all will be stored in the dimension table.
Dimension table. All details will be stored in a dimensions table and filtered data will be stored in the fact table.
Yeah, in short, like if I want to check for my monthly revenue or daily revenue, I just want to visit the fact table. Don't want to go in the dimension table.
And from the fact table only they will be able to generate the report. So when they will generate the report.
Yeah, definitely monthly report they can generate directly from the fact table.
From the fact table. Yes.
No need to go in the dimension table.
Dimension table, yeah.
Until and unless any issues come up.
Yes.
That's all. Pretty clear now. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Roman. Others? Others, any question?
Hi, sir.
Your name?
Gangadhar.
Yeah, Gangadhar, go ahead.
And so, who will upload the data in dimension tables? Is it ETL tester responsibility, or else?
See, yesterday, if you have attended the classes, you saw that architecture, what I have drawn, like how we are getting requirement, and how it is going to the means the business analyst will explain to the developer and testers. Okay, so there are three environments are there. Okay, so there are three environments in a real manner. There are three environments. Let me just explain you. Okay, what can I explain? Just a second, okay. So consider we will have three environment. Okay, so one environment it will be called as dev environment. Another environment will be the testing environment. Okay, and another will be the production environment. Production. Short form I'm just telling. Don't get confused. So dev environment, what will be there? So once the requirement will be clear and it will be explained from the business analyst to developer and to the tester team. So what developer will do, they will develop their coding, they will do coding and other things in their dev environment. So coding and all will be done in a coding environment. Okay, in this environment. The testers will create test case and all these things. Okay, that they will do test case and creations and all. Okay, and later when the coding is done, after the unit testing is done from the developer side, what they will do, they will move this coding from the dev environment, they will move this coding to the testing environment. Okay, so the testing environment. Okay, so when we say testing environment, we will have separate schemas in a database. We will have separate schemas in a database. So when I speak about the schema, so these are the schemas are there. Okay, so admin, core, HR, and all these things. So consider that HR is the test environment, and consider that admin is the dev environment. So in this environment, developer developed their code. They did their in unit testing. They did their unit testing, and after all this validation, developer what they do, they transfer their code to the this our test environment to our test environment. Okay, so test environment, they transfer their code to the from dev environment to the test environment. Okay, so now we have the test environment, code is ready. So I need to upload data to our different test environment tables. Okay, so we have to upload data. We have to load data to the test environment. So what we will do, we will go to the Informatica tool. We will go to the Informatica tool. We will run our workflow. We will run our workflow. If we run our workflow, data will be loaded to the required table. So those required table will be mentioned in the requirement. Those required table will be mentioned in the table, and the workflow name also will be mentioned in a table. You will go in a test environment in a Informatica tool. You will go in a test environment into the Informatica tool, and you will run the workflow. You will run the workflow. The data will be loaded from staging, whatever the tables are there. It will be loading to the staging table, and it will be loaded further after transformation and all cleaning, whatever the coding is done by the developer. Those data will be loaded to the target tables. Is it clear, Gangadhar?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay, so like that, the data loading process will be there, and we are going to validate in our test environment. All setup will be done in a test environment. Same thing if we give sign off, the data will move, whatever the coding they have done, the dev environment, that coding will move to the production environment. Okay, in a live data. So live data. Okay, so it will be called as live data. Okay. So this is the complete process followed in a company. Any question, guys? Any question, guys? Like this doubt you will get, and I'll be clearing time by time. So don't worry, I'll be taking care of all these things. How you're going to work in a company, complete scenario I'll give you. Okay, so no need to worry. Okay, so what is a star schema? Next question is that what is a star schema? So your next question will be what is a star schema? So star schema is a database which contains a centrally located fact table which surrounded by multiple dimensions table. Okay, so this is the architecture diagram where if you'll see that this is a fact table, in between this is a fact table, and it is surrounded by the multiple dimensions table. It is surrounded by the multiple dimensions table. Okay, and the data is coming in this fact table from the multiple dimensions table. Okay, so and this looks like a star. This looks like a star. That's why they are calling that a star schema. Okay, so this looks like a star. That's why it's called as a star schema. It's all definition by guys. So you have to just remember a few points. It's all easy. It's all easy. If they may ask you the what is a star schema, so you have to just simply say that a star schema is a database which contains stars surrounded by it will be fact table will be in the middle, and it will be surrounded by multiple fact table, multiple dimensions table. The complete architecture will look like a star. That's why it's called as a star schema. And this is the easiest architecture what we have in the form of ETL, okay, in data warehouse concept. So, guys, any question, guys? Sorry, guys. Any question, guys?
No, sir.
It's pretty clear. I mean, like it's all easy. And some form of real-time table, you can consider that this is the star schema where this is sales is a fact table, time is a dimension, product is a dimension, employee is a dimension, customer is a dimension, primary key in each dimensions will be related to foreign key in a fact table. So if you'll see, it's interrelated. All tables are interrelated to fact table. So whatever the data is coming to the fact table, all are from the dimensions table only. Okay, next one is snowflake schema. If you'll see that, if you see this diagram, okay, so this is nothing but it's the example of snowflake. So what is snowflake? Most of you people will be knowing it. What is snowflake? So if you'll consider that ice, snow flow, okay, snow flow means when you'll go to the hilly area or the Himalaya side, you will have a snow flow will be happening. Okay, so if you see that snow, so the scientist or the other person, the universal people, they define this snowflake is looks like this architecture. Okay, so snowflake, whatever the snow is falling, that looks like this architecture. So and in snowflake, our diagram, this is the snowflake where like this also looks like a kind of snow diagram, snow only. So that's why they gave name it as a snowflake schema. Oh, how come it come? So if you see the diagram, if you will see the diagram, so this is the centrally located fact table. This is centrally located fact table and is surrounded by multiple dimensions table. Multiple dimension. One layer is a one dimension, multiple dimension table. And if you'll see clearly, these dimensions are this dimension, one dimension, if you consider this dimension, it's splitted further. It's splitted further. It's splitted further. Okay, this is splitted further. Okay, this is one fact table, and these are all surrounded by multiple dimensions table, and each dimension is splitted further. Means what? Means what? Let me just go through the definition and then we'll come again on the snowflake diagram with example I will explain you. A snowflake schema is an extension of a star schema and it adds additional dimension. It adds additional dimension. A snowflake schema is an extension of a star schema and it adds additional dimension. So if you see the star schema diagram, this is the surrounding dimension and these dimensions will be extended further. It will be extended further, means like more dimensions will get added, depends on the requirement. I will tell you the real-time example, it will be clear. Okay, so more dimension, it will be clear. It's got splitted more, like more dimension are got added. So this is what we have snowflake schema. This looks like a snow. This looks like a snow, and that's why it's called a snowflake schema. Okay, so let me give you the example of snow. Okay, snowflake schema. Consider that. Okay, so let me just draw the paint. So consider this is the we have a fact table. Okay, so this is fact table. Okay, This is fact table. This is multiple dimension tables are there. Okay. This you consider that it is having the sales as a fact. Okay, sales as a fact, and this dimension we consider as a time dimension. Okay, so time dimension. Okay, so we will may say we'll say that time dimension. So what we can do that this is the dimension, and we can split this further as a further into the dimension, more dimension. We can say that year wise. Okay, year wise, and then it can be split to the more another one like 6 month or half yearly. You can say 6 month or half yearly. Later on you can say that 3 months quarterly, 3 months quarterly, and then it's a month wise. You can say week wise. You can say week wise. You can say month wise. You can say the week wise also it will get converted to date wise, day wise. So this is what we are snowflake. If you'll see that time is the dimension, here is the another dimension got splitted, and this is the 6 month half yearly, this is quarterly, this is the monthly, this is the weekly, and then it's got splitted again to the daily data. Okay, so this is what we have the snowflake. If you consider another region, okay, so consider as this as the location. Okay, so location or region you can say. So location we can add more like you can say that you can add regions. Region means Europe region, Asia region, America region, and then in Asia region you can add more dimension called as India, China. Okay, so India, China, UAE, all these things you can add in this location by. So this is split it further and further. So that looks like very complicated architecture, and it's called as snowflake schema. Clear, guys? Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is what we have snowflake schema. Okay. Any other question, guys? Question? Any question?
Sir Ramesh, for this second.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Little bit doubt. In snowflake schema, it's expansion of
Dimension.
dimension. So we've splitted here dimension. So in that particular splitted dimension is work as a fact table for that or not?
Sorry.
In snowflake schema, we split the dimensions, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So that splitted dimension worked as a fact table for that particular splitted dimension table.
No, no, it will be not fact. It will be dimension only. Fact will be this one only.
Only one fact table is
only one factor or multiple fact will be there. It depends on the company architecture. But as of now, you consider that we have one fact table in between. But in a complex way, it can be multiple fact table.
Okay, okay, clear.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so Rameshram, you are not added to the group, no?
Sir.
WhatsApp group?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'll add you.
Yes.
Okay. And I will share everyone class link also. See, this is the simple star schema. You'll see that the sales fact table is there, time ID is going, time key is going, item, location ID is going. So if you'll see that this is FK is nothing but foreign key. Okay, if it's if you'll see that FK is nothing but foreign key, PK is nothing but primary key here. So this is a time ID is a primary key, where like it will go to the time ID and it will act as foreign key in a fact table. And this is the primary key in a branch ID is primary key here, and it will act as a with have relationship with the foreign key in a fact table. Okay, so this is the general diagram. Next one is like normalization and denormalization. So this is the again developers and architecture thing. We will not go more deep into that how we are going to design the process and all this thing, because definition wise they will ask you what is database normalization, what is the denormalization. Okay, so normalization and denormalization they may ask, but believe me, in 100 interviews, if I have attended 100 interviews, one or two places only they ask this what is normalization, denormalization, because the person who will ask the question, they also know that this is not tester's terms, but for the knowledge purpose, you just to go through it. You just have to remember the definition, so that if they may ask, then you can tell that. Okay, so normalization, what is normalization? Database normalization is the process which helps the database designer to design a relational database with minimum redundant data. Redundant data means what? Duplicate data. So it will help database designer to design their database so that it will allow a minimum duplicate data. It will allow a minimum duplicate data. Okay, so normalization is a process of the data organization in the form of table. So it will be organized in the form of table. Okay, so it is a process which will allow a designer or the architecture to design such a way that will have the form of table. So they will create table and they will link it each other. So normalization process include dividing data into tables and making relationship among them. So they will divide the data and they will divide the tables like how we have a star schema, snowflake schema and all like that. And they will make the relationship between two tables, three tables like that. Denormalization is opposite form of normalization. Denormalization is opposite form of normalization. Denormalization is used on the normalized database to increase the performance by combining tables to reduce the joins so that the data can be fetched without joins. Okay, so it's which increase the performance of the data fetching. So okay guys, so this is the what definition you have to remember. We'll not go in a detail like architecture wise how it works because not needed. Another form of so another difference, important question you can say that normalization is used to remove redundant data from the database and to store non-redundant consistent data. Denormalization used to combine multiple tables data into one so that they can be queried quickly. So it will be combinations of multiple tables in a one form where like normalization will have the redundant data. It will be used to remove the redundant data and like if you read the difference properly, normalization is used to remove redundant data from the database and to store non-redundant and consistent data into it. So it will remove the duplicate data and it will store unique data only to database. Okay, so but wherein the denormalization, it will be a combinations of multiple tables so that it can be queried properly. It will be interrelated and it will be queried properly. Normalization uses optimized memory and hence faster in response. So normalization is faster in response because it uses optimized memory. Okay, so this is the what we have a definition based. If you want to go through more, but my suggestion is that how much document I have given, this much is more than sufficient. This is more than sufficient. Questions are 100% asked from this diagram only. And one more topic we have, what is slowly changing dimension, SCD. So SCD is nothing but it's like time by time the dimension will change. These things will discuss, this SCD will discuss in a Informatica chapters. When we'll discuss Informatica, that time we'll discuss because it's SCD type 1, type 2, type 3, three types of SCDs are there. That will show you with examples how the dimension are going to change within a dimension when we will discuss in Informatica chapter. So this is what we have. ER modeling technique, again, it's a definition wise. In last class, I have discussed ER model. ER model stands for the entity relationship model. It is a high level data model. This is another way to design your database. And when we say OLTP, when we discuss OLTP, that time I told you that we use the architecture use ER modeling technique to design their local database. Okay, is used to define the data element and the relationship for a specified system. It develops a conceptual design for the database. It also develops a very simple and easy to design view of data. Okay, so these are all theoretical part. I request everyone to just remember all points. And this point, I'll give you the pictorial diagram in a Wednesday class so that it will be clear. I know it's not clear because I don't have any pictorial diagram now. I have updated it, but I did not get it. Okay. So I'll give you on the Wednesday, 5-10 minutes, I'll explain it. But these are all important concepts. Only theoretical part they will ask. They will not ask you the architecture. Right. Another thing is that I have created an interview question also in data warehouse. If you'll go through the data warehouse link, whatever the share path is there, so the interview question also. Interview questions are there. In that, interview questions are there. So if you will go through all these things are interview questions are there. and few more theoretical parts are there. Few more theoretical parts are there that you have to remember. Okay, that you have to remember. It may ask, it may not ask, it may ask in an interview. So just go through this one and just remember all this point so that it will be covered. Okay, the whole things is covered in this case. Okay, whole thing. Your data warehouse concept will be 100% completed. One of the like none of the questions will come from outside of this concept. Okay, all concept will come from this concept only, so no need to worry. Every concept will come from this concept only, so 100%. So people who were attending interview, like is my student, they are giving feedback that none of the questions will be asked from this notes. Every question from the data warehouse and other topics are coming from my notes only. So it's master notes. You can go through only notes. No need to go for the Google and all. Understanding by, if you have difficulty, like if you want more example or a star schema, you can go to the Google, YouTube, you can go through other videos and all, so that it will be clear. But my thing is that you can go through this recording also and make sure that you clear. If you have any doubt, ask me your doubt. We'll clear your doubt. Okay. And I have not shared to everyone this share path link. So whoever not received and they want all recordings in one place and this interview questions, just ping me in WhatsApp. I'll share you all these things. Okay, this is the SQL recordings. Okay, SQL recordings what we have in this share path. So all recordings are there, and ETL it's a for current batch. Okay, so ETL also Informatica also will be stored in this one. So I'll be sharing you time by time each this one. So these recordings I'll share you in sometimes. Okay. Any question, guys? Any question?
No, sir.
Prasan, ping me separately. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, then if you Sojwal, may I know who is Sojwal?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you ping me in WhatsApp? I have no contact of you.
Yeah. Okay. Today I will pin you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's disconnect and we'll connect on Wednesday, 7:30 again. Okay, we'll discuss more on the SQL. Will start that day. We'll help you to install the Oracle software. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.